I am almost ready. Apologize for being late. Catch up. Not much has changed since this morning, except the confirmation of the current rally. So let's see, can you guys hear me and see my screen? Brad, Faust, Phil, Lalit, hello. All right. Okay, let's just make sure I don't have sliders. Okay. All right, let's start. Welcome to Tradespoon. My name is Vlad Karpel. I'm CEO and founder of Tradespoon, and today we're going to have a live trading room open to trade stock and options using Tradespoon technology. For those of you who are new, welcome. If this is your first live event, do me a favor, tap in first. Always want to welcome new subscribers. Disclosures are very important. Please read them. You can always pause the screen if you need more time to read the disclosures. If you're new to trading stock and options, I encourage you to visit optionsclearing.com to understand the risks associated with trading stock and options. Let's see if anyone is new. No. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the market. Since we left, I mean, obviously, fear of missing out, right? Everybody wants to get a piece of this rally. Very impressive. We're up above 390, right? I think morning we were below 390. I said, let's see. Where did we close the first hour? Around 389. If we break above 390, then that opens the door to 400, right? And that was actually predicted level of stock forecast $2 for previous months. It was just a little bit off by a couple of weeks. So 400 is the overhead resistance. Again, that was my core scenario. This is the downtrend. This is the 200-day moving average. 200, and upper band. I mean, does it have to stop at 400? No, it doesn't, right? Especially that we're still kind of in the middle of November. It's, 2 more weeks for till Thanksgiving, 4 weeks till Christmas or more. So there's more time to be bullish. Probably going into the Fed meeting, right? So not the Fed meeting, but the next CPI data, right? So the next CPI data, situation might change, right? It could be the same deal, right? The idea is, it's not the reason the market is not going higher because the inflation is core CPI, months over months, we're at 7.7. That's not the reason why market is going up, right? The reason the market is going up because the technology, right? Technology, was down from top to bottom, right? From top to bottom was down 38%, right? This looks like a deep recession, a deep bear market, 40% down. Any signs of, that the Fed is taking the foot off the accelerator, and then the market, and you have this historical rally. Semis are up 10%, QQQ up 7%. Last time QQQ was up 7%. In one day, you would have to probably go back to 2020, right? Kind of these type of moves. We haven't had these type of moves in one day, right? In one day, let alone 1 week, since the pandemic low. So for that reason, I think QQQ, last time QQQ rally from the bottom about 23%, right? Before that, it rallied 16%. Now it rallied 10%. So it's underperforming, right? So now the question is, is it higher? Is it going to be up another 6%? Or is it going to be up another, 10%, 12%? I don't know, right? But most likely, in terms of technical analysis, most likely we do, next Fed meeting is, next CPI print is going to be another, 3-4 weeks. 4 weeks, well, it should be around 4 weeks, right? So next CPI data is in 4 weeks. In 4 weeks, it is conceivable that QQQ will get to the trend line. A little bit higher, a little bit lower, I don't know, but probably not going the other way, right? And probably will break to this overhead resistance sooner than later, right? So I think we have at least till the next CPI data. Fed is not going to say anything that we do not know. It could cause volatility, right? But the next CPI print, it could be 7.6, right, or 7.5, and core CPI is 0.2, and the market sells off 10%, right? So it's the combination of the news and market conditions, right? At some point, QQQ will be overbought, just like value stock. You already see value is underperforming, right? Value is up 3%, QQQ up 6%, right? 2 to 1, and it's already broke to the downline. So QQQ is already going to start underperforming. Personally, I would rotate out of the value stocks, right? Whatever the darlings, energy, oil, and I don't know what else, industrials, banks. I would rotate out of them, take the profits. Nice rally, good job. If you're still holding to some of these value stocks, rotate out into technology, right? Because this is what this rotation is going to continue. This rotation out of the value stocks will continue, right? As long as interest rates are where they are. So that's my view on the market. Again, most important is dollar, right? Dollar continues to trade lower, right? Probably broke through this downtrend. Actually, let's see. All right, so you kind of can see this nice breakdown. So the uptrend kind of paused, right? Breakdown. Looks like the stop is here to stay for a little bit, right? So that's positive. And 10-year yield, 2-year yield, not as much, but significant pullback. Broke through the 4.0 level. We said this morning we're probably heading to 3.5%. We're probably heading to 3.5%. Right. The question is, what, So I would keep an eye on 10-year yield. I think rally will probably end around this level. Right, this is where the rally ends in 10-year yield, and probably in the dollar, right? Probably dollar It's already oversold, right? It's significantly oversold. So I don't know, next level is probably here. So somewhere in here, dollar will also stop rallying. That's where the rally will probably end. In next sprint, when the market is going to be extremely overbought, most likely the reaction will be market will sell off, right? So I don't know when the next CPI data. When is the next CPI data? December 13th. December 13th. It could be December 13th, or it could be the Fed meeting, right? The Fed, I think, first week of December. It could be the same thing. If the market is overbought, the Fed is going to say, well, one data point, doesn't mean we're going to slow down or pivot, and then market will sell off too. So, but until December, I'm not sure what can derail this rally. So that's the view on the market. Again, once we reach these levels, I would consider taking some profits off the table. This is where it's going to be extremely overbought. So somewhere between 400 and 420, this is where I would just start taking bullish positions off. Okay, any questions? Again, the reason I would be taking them off, because I think this is not the bottom, right? This is not the bottom, right? It's not the bottom. It's not a bottom. It's, it is a bottom, right? It was one of the bottoms, right? And there is more to come. All right. So meanwhile, but everything is going. The good news, everything going against the plan, right? We talked about this probably since September. Right, that the next rally is coming, and it's actually timing-wise, it's almost exactly how we planned it. So far the plot, the movie is going according to the plot, right? The movie being played according to the plot, without any deviations. So that's good. So let's see. So how are we going to adjust? Let's look at some of the positions. Let's look at the balances, right? Spiders is up 5%. My portfolio is up around 2.5%. So I'm fine. I don't think I'm overbought. I don't have to aggressively close my bullish positions. I still have time. Maybe even add a bullish position, because I think spiders can continue to go at least 400, 410. But for me personally, if I was up 5 to 10%, I would be concerned. Then I would aggressively start trimming some of these long positions, right? Because a lot of room to the downside and the room to the upside is getting a little thin, right? It's getting, it could be 400, could be 410. I just don't know. So somewhere in this, the room is getting thin. So let me look at my personal account, because I'm a lot more aggressive in my personal account. Probably want to take some positions off the table. See, my personal account, I'm up 9%. I'm up 9%. On the spiders, 5%. So I got to close some long position. Give me a second. It's getting a little bit overdone. So probably want to get one-to-one correlation. There's different ways of doing this. You can do cover calls, right? You can sell calls against it. You can close some of the stock positions. You can buy puts, right? So there's other ways of decreasing your portfolio beta, right? Decreasing your portfolio beta. Okay. So, okay. IWM, right? So out of the money, right? IWM, when you have out of the money puts right below this level, then you have room to maneuver, right? Because like IWM, I have 180, 170 put, right? So I have 180, 170 put. Time is on my side, right? If I don't think the next leg down is not until the next year, or at least not until the next Fed meeting, and I have another 2-3 weeks, well, the time is on my side, right? And VIX is collapsing, right? VIX is collapsing. It's going to continue to drop to 20. So then it's just I'm just collecting the premium, right? I'm just collecting premium, even if stock is going to go up and down. So when you sell premium, that makes sense. If your loan calls, then it's kind of the other way around. Unless the calls continue unless the stock continues to go up aggressively, you're not going to take advantage of the time decay, right? So here I'm taking advantage of the time decay. IWM, no changes. Mosaic, Fred might be buying ice cream. Fred, are you here? Where's Fred? Fred. Oh, Fred is here. So Mosaic is at 53.5. It was as high as 54. I have a short 56 call. So tomorrow, if we have continuation, then Fred owes us ice cream. We will hold him accountable. But for now, it's still out of the money. And probably will not get there. All right, QQQ. Again, I would rotate into QQQ, right? The Microsofts of the world, Apple, they all got annihilated. And they are the ones that rally, right? Rivian up 17, Affirm 22, irrelevant of the earnings. Affirm had bad earnings, Rivian had good earnings. Doesn't matter, they're up the same amount, right? Robinhood, HCP, all these stocks are up the same amount. And you can see ARK as the ETF is up 13%. So you know that everything moves in tandem. But more importantly, Tesla, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Apple, very strong rally, right? A lot more than spiders or QQQ because they just got obliterated, right? And that trade is probably going to continue for the next few weeks. So QQQ, I would be, I'm more bullish on QQQ to a point where I probably want to even close the put spread to 70 to 50 put spread. I think I sent the message. Let's see. Close QQ put spread. So I have an order to close QQQ put spread. I mean, I still think. I mean, my thought process. I still think that we're gonna revisit this level by March, but I think I can get a better price. I can get a better price for these QQQ put spread. Can maybe close them and reopen them like in a week or two. So that's QQQ put spread. SH still going to contain SH. I'm just going to start adding as we get to 400 level. I'm going to start buying SH. That's my goal. And as we get to 400, I'm going to close the spider. XLF. I have a call spread and a put spread. 30-35 call. As spiders get close to, I'm going to start closing. Call spread. Put spread for now. Yeah. Put spreads are okay. So XLK, right, one of the bigger position, technology is, strong rally. We're back to above my cost basis, right? So it's good that I bought the call, right? I'm hedging the call. So at this point, maximum loss here is $2.50, right? $2.50, but I'm already up, $1.50 here. Plus, I sold multiple times the premium. So my goal is, as we approach to 131, start trimming the XLK position, right? Because XLK is also overbought. But it has more room, right? It broke through the neckline, or breaking through the neckline. We'll probably get to 200-day moving average at least, right? So we have more room for XLK. XOP, underperforming QQQ, right? It's not up. It used to lead the market. It's now clearly underperforming, and I think that will continue to underperform. So I'm going to continue to hold the put spreads on XOP. That's about it, I think. All right, SPY is up 5%. This is incredible moves. Okay. That's, let's see. Don't want to trim anything. I'm going to start trimming spiders. It's 130.25. Let me trim maybe 30% of it. Because as these out of the money calls are start rallying, so I'm going to close 130, and the next one I want to close at short strike, the long strike of XLK, which is around, let's see, probably around this level, 133.57. 133.57. So now I'm gonna, again, using dollar cost average, trade around the XLK and continue trimming the XLK. And mostly it's just decision. I look at my balances, I look at my correlation, and I'm getting. It's not, since I have options. These out of the money calls are gonna start generating more revenue, so I gotta start trimming positions. But okay, but now I think I'm good. So close at 130, next one 133.57, another 2%. Fred, okay, Fred is still on for our earnings. No earnings. I looked, there's nothing liquid. Earnings season is kind of over. I mean, we're going to have retail numbers coming out next week, right? Hopefully there's not going to be dismal, because this rally might suddenly stop, right? If we have earnings next week. Who's announcing notable earnings next week? I don't have to do this. What are my friends? Zach's. So who do we have next week? Monday, nobody. Tuesday, Walmart. So we have Walmart, we have Home Depot, BHP. So we have retail, Walmart, Home Depot, Cisco, Target, Lowe's. I mean, I'm a little concerned, right? I'm a little concerned. We've seen Walmart earnings, supply chain issues, huge inventory numbers, and it's not getting better. And Walmart closed the gap. So if they deliver great earnings, okay, it stays at this level. If they deliver dismal earnings, we're gonna start talking about recession again. So whether we will or will not, I guess we have to wait. But next week, that's we could get the reminder that that the retail, that the holiday season, retailers, people spending less money on the gifts. We already see the headline news that this Christmas and this Hanukkah and Thanksgiving, the gifts are going to be a lot smaller, right? People are a lot less willing to spend. So if we hear this from the retailers, that rally might come to a quick, pause, right? A quick pause, or at least some kind of consolidation. So we'll see. So for now, no earnings trade. John, any trades? What did I do? So yeah, let's review the trades. So I'm closing the put spread, 272.50 put spread. I think the problem was the long debit put spread. Again, VIX is collapsing. Market is going to either go up or continue going like sideways into the end of the year. So these put spreads going to lose money, right? They're going to lose money. So I don't want to. I think majority of the risk is behind us, right? The risk was midterm elections and the CPI print. I think until the next CPI print, that risk is limited. I did buy the 131.5 call this morning, right, just to hedge the short call. And because I did this now, it allows me to continue to trim the XLK. Because now I have credit call spread against the stock, and the stock has limited losses, right, no more than $250. But XLK, pretty large positions, 400 shares, right, $13,000 on $10,000 portfolio. It means you're buying on the margin. So this is the time to start trimming XLK, right? Use this rally, especially if you're buying on the margin. If you have $10,000 and you don't have any more, then that's the time to start trimming XLK. Can't QQQ resistance? I mean, short term, it's just, the reason it's overbought, right? Because we just, in a very short period of time, market rallied, what's it, 10%? What do we say? From the bottom, 10%, right? So it's a little bit overdone. You clearly overhead resistance is 284, right? It's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, and they were not able to break through this level. So you have to at least assume that there will be some kind of a pause, maybe because of the retail numbers. Maybe Cisco is going to give, sobering news on the state of the economy, that nobody's buying switches and routers, right? Cisco routers, because, Facebook is letting go 10% of their people. So there could be some sobering news. There could be some pause, right? Probably not enough to derail the rally, but at least going through some consolidation. And then the next one is 300. Right, so I think this is your support resistance number one, and resistance number 2. Right, 280 current level. Once we break through this level, then 300. Thank you, Kent. John, QQ put spread. Thank you. I mean, John, new positions, like I said, I would just look at the balances and then decide how much risk you take. And, you can add on to any of my positions, right? You can add on to XLK, you can add on to QQQ, you can add to spiders. I think if you have room, you buy QQQ, right? If you're light, if you were bearish, or you didn't have enough exposure to the market, you buy QQQs. If you really like price action, you buy semiconductors. But these are the two places, or consumer discretionary. Right? So the places where the market is going to, I think, continue to rotate, XLK, XLY, where's XLY? XLY, right? XLY, XLK, QQQ, and semiconductors, SMH, and SMH. Those are your ideas. You can do synthetic stock. You can, I mean, any of the strategies we've been doing before will work. I don't know if you guys have any questions. Okay. SH is the inverse ETF. So it depends on the time frame, right? So what time frame are we talking about, right? I think short term, right? Short term, let's talk about spiders, right? Because it's inverse. Short term market is overbought, right? This is not it doesn't happen every day that market is up 5% in one day. So there's got to be some kind of a consolidation, especially if we're approaching 400 level, right? Most people called the top at 400 level, right, prior to CPI, including myself. When we were here, I said 400 is where we end, right, which is, you know, which would be 13% rally. 13% rally. Last time it was from the bottom to the top, 18% rally, right? So 13%, 18%, you know, the one before that, right, 13%. So there are two scenarios. This rally is like the rally in March, or it's similar to rally in July, August. I think it's more of the July, August rally, right? From the bottom to the top, back to the trend line, it's 18%, spiders 18% up. We are already up 13%. So we're talking about another 5%. And it's probably some kind of a consolidation, right? We're probably talking about, maybe something like this, right? Something along those lines, right? Like in August. So we're probably here, and we have something like this, right? So that's the best case scenario. But short term, we're overbought and probably will have some kind of pullbacks. But short term. But I think it's a little bit too early. I think right now it's a little bit too early to get bearish, right? This is day one, right? Day one, such a strong rally. And like from physics point of view, right? I mean, the force that's being applied is very high, right? It's a pretty big force that's being applied. So it's going to take at least, there might be some kind of a rebound, recoil, right? But then there is more to come, right? More to come. So short term, maybe pullback next week on some of the disappointments from retail and Cisco, but then people realize this is old news and Fed is going to pivot, and then you have another rally. So on SH, once we get here, that's when I'm going to start buying SH. 393, November 10, a little bit too early, I think. But again, it depends on your portfolio composition, right? I'm only, my portfolio is up 2.5%, right? 3%. So I'm okay not buying. If your portfolio is up 6%, or if it's up, 12%, then yes, I would definitely buy SH and trim some of your long. John, thank you. Would I look at shorting XOP, right? I added to the short XOP. Not yet, right? We need to follow through, right? One day doesn't set the trend. We had day one, day two, and now almost entire reversal. I would, the sign is here, right? This is your support level. Once you have a day where we do this, then I would short. Until then, we can get here, right? And you can see it's not like XOP is negative. It's underperforming, but if spiders is going to be up 5%, another 5%, well, XOP is going to be up another 2.5%. So not yet. I did it yesterday just because I thought we're not going to have better than expected CPI, and if that was the case, XOP would fall the most, right? XOP would fall the most. But because we have better than expected CPI, XOP moved the least. John, thank you. Do you feel the most room the upside? XLY, XLQ, QQQ, and SMH. Percentage-wise, the most volatile is obviously SMH, right? If you're asking like which has the most room to the upside percentage-wise, if we're talking about percentage-wise, they're all correlation of 1-to-1. But semis probably percentage-wise will continue move more than QQQ and more than XLK on the upside. It will also do the same on the downside, right? But if you want to see how much percentage-wise, if QQQ is going to move another, I don't know. What is the trend line? So QQQ potentially can move another 8%. QQQ can move another 8%. And semis, let me draw it correctly. Okay, so from the top, from December, the highs. I don't know. So semis are overbought. So maybe I'm wrong, but because it has to break through this resistance. So maybe let me change my opinion. So semis are facing the overhead resistance. They're obviously been outperforming the QQQ, but QQQ has more catch up to do the semis. So maybe let me stick with QQQs. I think QQQ has more room to go upside than semis. John, big moves hard to predict, right? This is more of an element of luck, right? Raymond, good call on QQQ, one up, one. Very good, thank you. I'm glad the trade worked out. Thank you, Raymond. I do agree with John. One day doesn't set the trend, right? This is our golden rule, right? Wait for 2 to 3 days to confirm the trend change. I'm going to make an assumption, which, you know, we don't want to trade on hope or assumptions, that even if we pull back, we're not going to drop below 273, right? We're not going to have 7% drop tomorrow. We can have 2% drop, 3% drop tomorrow, but not 7, right? So I agree. One day doesn't set the trend, but you know, bulls are in control. And now 390 is your support. As long as the spiders are above 390, we're in good shape. You know, if we drop below 386, I would have to scratch my head and figure out what are the news and how do I respond. But this is your support, right? As long as we are above 386, we're okay. You know, and more often than not, you know, you have something like this, right? Consolidation, some Cisco bad news, Walmart bad news, but then some good news from somewhere, and you know, or seasonal effect, and then we'll get to this line. But I think we will get to the line. I think we'll get here. But not a straight line, not a straight line. So some retracement. I don't think this 386 line will get breached. You know, I have my personal account, I sold 385 put, right? I sold 385 put. I don't think we're going to breach that level. You know, but some consolidation is definitely like flag, right? We need some flag formation. This is a classical flag chart. So and I think that's coming. Raymond up on QQQ call, great, that's good. Yeah, gold, GDX, FCX, they're all rally, right? Everything that's sensitive to the interest rate, platinum, right? Favorite platinum, John's favorite. John, have you ever thought platinum is going to be at 96? I didn't think so. Wow, I'm impressed with platinum. But it's all about dollar, right? It's all about dollar because the dollar is making this vertical move down, right? Fred, thank you. Thanks for your comment. Yeah, very impressive in platinum. I didn't know. Well, GDX, I mean, I kind of anticipated. I mean, maybe because it's not as liquid. Right? GDX was a nice move too, but nothing like platinum. I mean, platinum is April, May. It's just amazing. All right. It is 253. Bull call spread, very nice. Gold spread. I mean, this is all, you know, one of those 40-year moves, 30-year moves that, you know. Let's look at 10-year yield. When did it drop so much? It moved so much in 1 week. We haven't had this type of move since 2020, right? So pandemic-like moves. Not pandemic, but capitulation type of moves, right? Pandemic started in February 24th when Congress, you know, sold their stocks and told everybody else they're gonna, you know, restrict, you know, impose, you know, some great example of inside trading, and then, you know, you have this move in 10-year yield, right? So we haven't had this type of moves since the pandemic, start of the pandemic, right, on a weekly basis. Anyone else? Any questions? TLT, yay, finally TLT is moving. This is another example. So another example, where, I'm wrong, like I admit, probably a couple months, way off by a couple months, but, eventually it goes in the right direction. All right, let me know if you have any questions. So other ideas, like I have TLT in my personal account, so I'm buying puts because it made a large move to the upside. So if you have a big position, right, you can go into December and spend 1%, like TLT, you can spend 1% and buy 98, 97 put just to hedge because it's, it's just way overdone. I mean, if it continues going higher, great, but if it pulls back, then I'm not as affected. All right, that's all I have for today. Good day for bulls. Thank you, and I will see you tomorrow at the strategy roundtable or closing bell. Thank you, guys. For those of you who left a review, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. You made my day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bitcoin, I mean, they're high. I mean, if you're buying QQQ and Bitcoin, it's the same thing, right? I mean, how much is GBTC up? I mean, GBTC is up 7%. I mean, QQQ is up 7%. You know, ARK is up 14%. So I don't think Bitcoin will outperform ARK or QQQ, right? Going back to this, you only have 4 positions, right? I think QQQ, XLY, SMH. I think these are good strategy. Bitcoin, why even take the risk? Because you know that it's not the last exchange that blow up, right? That contagion is going to spread. You know it's going to spread. It's just a matter of time. So I would stay away from Bitcoin until it gets to like 5,000. Faust, thank you. John, thank you. Yes, please support Ukraine. We actually got a tank, and we're gonna. I know how you guys are gonna. We're gonna start selling tank parts. So I'm gonna show you, and hopefully you guys can buy some tanks, parts from Russian tank as a souvenir and as a donation. So stay tuned. I'm gonna ask you to start buying parts of Russian tanks soon. Phil, thank you. Mark, thank you. Yeah, you can buy it and move it in your office. Yes, yes. I have a. You want me to send you this piece? Often remind me next week. I'll send you a piece, like an example. John, if you want to buy a tank, yes, we'll hook you up. Just let me know. Yeah, remind me. I'll show you the. See you tomorrow, John. Thank you, guys. All right. Sorry about the delay. Sorry I'm late. I'm always doing 10 things at the same time. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you. Take care, guys.